Today, on the Follow Bridgeton Podcast, I speak with John Marino and Sarah Moore about their business, Flying First Class Equestrian and Community Outreach Center, about the power of animals and community service. Hello and welcome to the Follow Bridgeton Podcast. My name is Gavin Schweiger, and today I'm here with John Marino and Sarah Moore, who own the Flying First Class Equestrian and Community Outreach Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Terrific.
Good.
Great. So this is a giant property that you guys have. You guys just moved to Bridgeton not too long ago.
9 months.
9 months.
March 1st.
So how did this all get started?
Like originally,
Sure.
I liked ponies when I was 4 and started riding then, and it has grown exponentially from there. But we recently moved from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I had a small riding program there, and when we stumbled across this property in South Jersey, we saw that it could be so much more than just a small riding program. So we've kind of dug into that and started our community part of our farm as well.
Gotcha. So first of all, tell me about the equestrian part. What do you guys do when it comes to horses?
So a lot. We teach riding lessons for all ages. My youngest student, I should say, is my daughter, who is 3 months. She's 13 now. And my oldest was 78. It was a bucket list item. She wanted to learn to ride, and so we made that happen for her and everybody in between. We also hold horse shows on our property. And then we also work with some of the youth in the area, holding special sessions for them to be able to come to the farm and experience horses and and the chickens and the goats and the pond and the garden, a little bit of everything.
And that will the aim there is to show them different possibilities to make riding affordable for people that might not normally be able to afford to ride. We also, in conjunction with our animals, horses, goats, and chickens, is we have programs for first responders and veterans, where we offer a free program, a mindfulness or a relaxation program for them to come and participate, learn how to be around an animal, learn how to be around whatever animal makes them more comfortable, and then be able to come back and whenever they need that kind of disengagement from their regular everyday stress, they can come and chill on the farm and kind of use that to help keep them centered.
What is it about horses and animals that is good for people like veterans or the people that you service?
There's a couple of different ways to look at that. The first thing is they don't judge. So if you look a little different, or you don't have the cool clothes that somebody else has, or you're shy, or you're nervous, or any of those things, they don't look at that. They look at someone who, if you're nice to me, they're gonna want to be in your space. If you're nice to them, I mean. They also are really great energy absorbers. We work with a lot of autistic children or ADHD people who may be a little nervous, or again with the veterans or even just regular youth. They have some internal anger, they're nervous or they're anxious, fearful. The horses kind of absorb all of that. So do the goats, even the chickens, and they just kind of level you out. They say a horse can hear your heart rate from like 30 feet away. And can kind of absorb some of that energy. So I have very, very calm horses that we work with the kids, in particular, Bubbles and Zeus and Ozzy. And they just have a very calming effect on kind of everybody they meet, which is really great. I've had kids who are autistic say their first words to one of my horses at 9 years old. So very, very interesting to watch that energy exchange.
And the other thing is that they require that you be present. So when your focus and your energy becomes being present with the animal, kind of everything else kind of falls away a little bit, so that you're present in the moment and you're not thinking about whatever it was you were thinking about when you came in. And you realize fairly quickly that you need to have that presence because they're looking to you for what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are you going to take care of me? What are you going to do? And so it really has a very calming therapeutic effect. Goats are the same way. Our goats, we have Nigerian pygmy goats, and they're like dogs. I mean, they want to be touched and patted and fed and nurtured, and it's just very absorbing.
Yeah, I remember when I visited the property last week, the goats were just very friendly, just wanted to come up and say hi and be pet. And
Yeah.
I think Dash came over to say hi to you too.
That's
And
true.
Cody, yeah.
The horse, yeah. Yeah, even the horses. I mean, they're just so friendly, and I feel like that's, it really does have a soothing effect.
And not all horses, mind you, are like that. Sarah has an incredible talent to train our horses to be receptive to that kind of attention, and they'll come to us. They'll come like dogs. I mean, they come when they're called.
So, what is it like to train a horse?
You need patience.
You have 17 days to talk about it. It depends on the horse. I mean, they're very individual, just like people. You have nervous horses, confident horses, fearful horses, horses that have been abused. They have their own issues. So I mean, every animal is different, and you have to approach every animal. While it's the same, it's also very specific to that
Accommodating
horse.
to them. And I think that's the talent that Sarah has, is she can see a horse and immediately know what it needs, and after some interaction, know what it needs and know how to approach it and know how to get it to a place where it's more trusting or more level-headed or whatever the case may be.
They're a lot like dogs. People say the same thing about dogs. You just have to know how to approach each one.
Right, absolutely. And so I did visit the property. It's huge. I was not expecting it to be as big as it was, and I'd even done the research and saw a video and photo of the property and was like, oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Then I got there and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So how large is the property and what's it like taking care of it?
It's actually only 12 acres.
It's really not
I mean, I
that
say
big.
that it's not huge in the grand scheme of farms, but it's all flat and level and open, so
And
it makes
all
it seem
used for the events in the property and the programs that we offer. So that's kind of, I think, what has a tendency to make it feel really much larger than it really is.
Yeah, you have a lot of stuff for the events and for training. You have some of the courses.
the
and stuff like
rings.
that.
with
Yeah,
the
please tell me about
jumps
that.
And yes.
Yeah, tell me about some of the other parts of the property that you guys have other than horse stables and.
We've started developing, and we've already had our first kind of go around with a community garden. One of the things that we discovered when we were there was that there was a greenhouse on the property, and my first inclination was, let's tear it down. My granddaughter had other ideas, and kind of got interested in, okay, well, what do you do with a greenhouse? And immediately started to watch. It's the only 13-year-old kid that I know that watches, agricultural videos on TikTok and YouTube, and so she learned how to begin the process of preparing and using a greenhouse, and ended up planting a whole garden that ended up taking over, and we kind of talked about it and said, geez, we could use some help doing this, and maybe there's some other way to approach this. And collectively we came up with the idea of starting a community garden where we would reach out to the community and say, okay, anybody who has an organization that wants to come and help prepare the garden and then maintain the garden throughout the year can come and harvest anything that they want. And also we said, it might make sense to include them in the decision making of what gets planted, so that everybody likes different things, so that we're now going to start a second meeting where we reach out to all those people and say, okay, let's have a meeting and discuss about what we're going to plant in the spring, and then utilize all that manpower to plant the garden and maintain the garden, and then share the bounty and the harvest with everybody that participates. So we've taken something that I was ready to tear down and turned it into something I think is going to be pretty special. And whatever is left over,
Goes to the food pantries.
we'll donate to food pantries and other people in need. So. And which was also what we do with our chickens. We have 50 chickens that are now producing 3 dozen eggs a day. And so we've got a series of places where we donate the eggs. So Mayor Kelly has an unbelievable soup kitchen that he runs out of the Bethany Seventh-day Adventist Church. And every Sunday we deliver him 60 eggs, and he feeds 40 to 50 different homeless groups, and we've been doing that for the better part of the year. So we're trying to make a difference. That's what we're trying to do.
Tell me a little bit more about that. You say that you do a lot of community work, and you work with veterans and at-risk youth, and children with developmental disorders and stuff like that. Where does that wanting for community assistance come from?
I think we're all in my home feel pretty blessed, and know that we're pretty lucky. And I have the ability to, and by say I mean we have the ability to do more. And this property in particular has allowed us to kind of figure that out a little bit. And the more that we see that need, and the more that we see people responding in a positive way to that need, the more I think it kind of pushes us and drives us to help as much as we can.
And our grandkids are her children are very involved in almost every project, whether it's chickens, the goats, or the horses, or the garden, or the koi pond. We have a koi pond too, and we've actually rescued koi. Who knew that was a thing, huh?
I did.
We have people that have come to us that say that my koi are too big for my pond, and somebody told us, you have a big pond, and can you rescue our koi, because we don't want them to just go off somewhere we don't know where they are. And so we've rescued a couple dozen koi this year too. And the koi pond really, again, it's another one of those things that I was thinking maybe we'll fill it in. And it's really, I think mostly motivated by Sarah, that it's really a very therapeutic thing to sit. We have Adirondack chairs around our pond, and people just kind of end up there and throw food to the koi and just kind of watch them eat and swim, and it's very therapeutic. There's waterfalls and fountains and plants, and it's
kind of zen.
It's a very zen place, yeah.
Yeah, keeping on theme with zen with animals, and I could tell those koi were very well fed.
Yes, they are.
There are some massive koi in there.
They really are.
They are.
Were they remotely as big as they were when you got them?
Some of them, again, because I get the call of like, hey, we're moving. A couple of ways. Hey, we're moving, and the new owners don't want our fish. Can you take them? Or my pond is too small and my fish are too big, and can you take them? So there's a couple of them that were very large when we picked them up. The big orange and white one, and the big white and black one that were named by my children Hoover and Moonster. I think the Moonster was because he looks like a cow, but he was a monster-sized fish, and they put it together and came up with Moonster. We're large. The other ones have grown exponentially from going from small areas to a larger area.
And we've also had, they breed as well. So we've had little ones, that were born there that now, are getting to the point where they're 5 and 6 inches, big. And so they're growing all the time.
And I think Hoover and Moonster are probably 32 to 36 inches long. So. Wow. We've got a lot of size.
Way too much talk about koi.
I love our fish.
So you have this large property. You have a lot going on the property, using it for a lot of community service. Tell me about some of the. Tell me about some of the shows that you guys put on, because I know you have a lot of that ready to go.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
We have horse shows on our property for all ages and all levels. once a month. Our next horse show is actually December 21st. We also invite some of our local vendors to come and set up tents. They have a little bit of a captive audience, and the public is also welcome to come.
So they're serving food and selling crafts, and we don't charge for them to be there. We encourage them to be there to promote their businesses. I mean, it's always about more and feeding others, and helping others. And so this gives people that might not normally get exposure outside of maybe a shop here on Main Street in Bridgeton, gives them a chance to reach out and reach people that they might not normally reach.
It's definitely a different audience.
And it's fun for all the people that come to the show.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody, prizes, basic beginner riders up through jumper riders, and people bring their horses and compete. What
we try to do with our horse shows is really focus them on teamwork, on confidence building, on developing skills and kind of moving up in your comfort level so that you can be ready to compete at a different level, and it's done in an atmosphere of total support. Everybody gets a ribbon, everybody gets a prize, and everybody cheers for everybody. And we don't, we really discourage any kind of unsportsmanlike behavior. And so it's grown very well. I mean, the shows have gotten bigger every time, and unfortunately, right now there's a horse virus going around, so we canceled our November show, and we're hoping that the December 21st show is going to be fine because things are calming down.
Tell me a little bit about that horse virus, because I know that's something that's been on your minds lately.
It's just out there. It is something that we vaccinate for, thankfully, but there's a neurologic side to it that happened down in Texas, and there were 1,000 or 2,000 horses at a world's final horse show, and then they all went home and brought it with them. So unfortunately that happens sometimes when you're dealing with animals, and it spreads from there. So we all kind of had to hunker down for a couple weeks.
Just play it a little safe.
And just play it safe.
Yeah, tell me about some of the other challenges that comes with running this farm and running the events or everything like that. I mean, it's a huge operation.
It's a huge operation. As long as everybody does what they're supposed to do, it works out pretty well.
Yeah, it really does.
It's not a huge, for us, it hasn't been a big, problem at all.
We've been doing it for over 40 years at this point. So, I think everybody's kind of settled into how we do things. My grandson has his chores. My granddaughter has her chores. She does her stuff. I do what I need to do. I've got a small team of guys from the
Girls and Guys.
Girls and Guys, right? From the Boys and Girls Club of Cumberland County, and Rosemary de Quesno, and David and Lewis, who run the Keystone Youth Group. They come and work on the farm. They volunteer and help, and we feed them breakfast and feed them lunch, and we work for a couple hours, and then they swim or sit in the hot tub, and I bring them home. So, we've managed to amass a fairly good team of very conscientious and very hardworking people that help a lot.
And we're always looking for volunteers. So if anybody ever wants to learn about the horses or the fish or the chickens or the goats or running a horse show or being on a farm, we're always open, the garden, whatever, to
Flying
volunteers.
First Class Equestrian and Community Outreach Center is our Facebook page. You can get Sarah or I anytime from that place if you want to be involved. We have a woman who comes, and all she does is brush the horses every week. And she comes and spends 2 hours just being with the horses because she was riding all her life, and she doesn't want to ride at this point, but she finds them helpful and therapeutic, and she'll come and spend a couple of hours there mucking stalls or brushing horses or whatever.
And a big part of our youth work that we're striving towards is opening up a sponsorship program where we are looking for sponsors either from local businesses or from a personal aspect to sponsor a youth, or potentially maybe at some point in adults, I don't know, but we're focusing on the youth right now, for 8 riding lessons.
We have a very affordable program, and our vision for that program is that we have an 8-week period of time where they come for 8 separate one-on-one or small group sessions where for $350 a sponsor can sponsor that child. And every week after that child is done their lesson, we do a small video where we send the video to the sponsor that's responsible for sponsoring that child, and
If they want it.
if they want it, and give them an update on how the child is doing and progressing. And we're seeing a ton of interest, and that's kind of evolved into an equine academy that we're doing here in downtown Bridgeton with the UEZ and Tony and Harlan from Games on the Go.
Games on the Go.
Games
Yeah.
on the Go.
And
Chemo, keeping young minds occupied. And we've got a space in our building here on Main Street, on East Commerce Street, that we have, like a little classroom where we can bring kids in groups and do some basic education before we bring them out to the farm location, so that they're prepared to be ready to be around the animals. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. That was what I was going to say. It's fine.
So by basic education, tell me a little bit more about this academy that you're working on. What are you going to teach there, and how do you think that will impact the kids and the people that you're...
So we're hoping the first session will be probably in our building in the classroom right here on East Commerce Street, to see who's really interested. So they're going to learn a little bit about basic horse handling. We're actually talking about bringing our pocket-sized pony, Sugar, to the building and bring her right upstairs into the classroom, to let the kids get some hands-on experience, brushing some of the equipment, hands-on, are we scared, how do we feel, in regards to actually being around one of the animals. And then we're hoping to bring them to the farm on a scheduled same day, same time every week for each individual child who gets to sign up for this, and teach them to ride. So I'm really hoping that it gets them into being around the animals and riding. Listen, I always tell all of my dads who bring me their little girls, there's no extra money, there's no free weekends, there's no boys, there's no smoking, there's no drinking, and there's no drugs on the farm. So it becomes a very safe place for these kids to be, and they end up wanting to clean stalls, and they end up wanting to brush the horses and hang out and watch somebody else ride.
And be a part of something bigger than just themselves.
And it teaches a lot of responsibility because the horses come first. In general, on our farm, the animals all come first. We were out last night with the cold snap coming, hanging a board on our chicken door to make sure the chickens stayed warm at 7 o'clock at night in 20-degree weather, before we ate dinner, because that's what you have to do. So the horses come first, the goats come first, everybody comes first, and it teaches them to put something before themselves and get out of that me thinking process.
And the idea behind the academy and the sponsorship scholarship program is to increase the reach of the equestrian or the animal world to people who might otherwise either not think they can afford it or really can't afford it, and allowing the kids and adults to be able to experience something that they thought maybe was out of their reach. And this makes it much more attainable for a lot more people. And that's really the goal of the academy.
And you can't just buy a horse and put him in your backyard.
Some people.
No, it's always the old thing that, and I've gotten this spiel many times from my parents, where it's like, if you're going to have a dog, then you got to be responsible
That's
for
right.
it. But it feels like it almost takes it to a different level when it comes to, horses are just a different level of animal.
Like a horse gets a bellyache, they lay down and die.
Really? How does that happen?
Colic.
They can't throw up. So if they get a bellyache,
This is the part to cut out.
Yeah, you don't have to show this.
No, this is interesting. It's fascinating.
They literally will lay down, and
if you don't intervene,
because their tummy hurts and they don't know what to do, and horses have to walk and eat like 20 out of 24 hours a day to keep the digestive system working, and otherwise they get blocked up and then they die.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something I did not know about horses.
A lot of people don't know that.
I'm not sure most people need to know that about horses.
No, that's true. Yeah, that brings me to something else that you said when I was on the property earlier before. Some of these people, and especially, at-risk youth or inner-city kids, have, never seen a horse before.
Unbelievable stories we could tell.
We go to events all the time with the little pony, and I get, is she real? I get asked that.
Real horse?
I have adults, grown
never touched
adults.
a horse
I've never
before.
touched an animal like this in real life before.
It's great. It's awesome. It just is so.
We were just at Breakfast for Santa at my kids' school district. The kids go to Upper Deerfield, and I had a pony and a goat outside, dressed up, and parents were like, "Wow!"
And how does that feel, bringing that to people who
I think
might
that's
not?
a big part of the driving force.
Yeah, it's soul healing. That's
It is.
what it is.
Soul healing.
Because it's normal. It's normal for us. It's every day. We've got 8 horses out there. I got to go feed them. I got all the chickens and the goats. It's an everyday occurrence for me, and it's very humbling to when we get out there. And I think for my kids as well, because they don't know any different. To come across people who
They
don't know it.
absolutely love showing the horses and the goats and the chickens to other children who are amazed by it. For them, it is so important to them to share that, and that's those kinds of little things about teaching them that that they're fortunate and then seeing them wanting to share it with others that maybe aren't quite as fortunate is really important.
I love to bring kids into the chicken house and let them see that the chickens just laid eggs. We don't think about that, you just go to the store and you get eggs. You don't think about where they came from, and they're right there, and then they get to bring them home and eat them.
What do you think the impact of maybe just being with the animals, or even, because you're saying that kids will want to clean stalls, which is
true.
I don't even want to clean stalls.
I was going to say, I don't know many adults that would want to clean stalls. So, what do you think the impact is on these kids or veterans or any of these groups that you're trying to reach with the horses and animals?
I think in the main part that I see is people connect to horses at a soul-to-soul level. And I know it sounds silly, and if you don't have horses, you may not understand that, but dogs and cats are the same way, okay? And they take that into, he needs me to take care of him. And it becomes, I just want to be at the barn. I don't care what I have to do. And the stall cleaning is part of taking care of the horses and the making the food.
It develops an incredible sense of responsibility in most of the kids that are motivated by it. They realize that, if it wasn't for me or it wasn't for this group of people, that the horse would not be okay. And so as a result of that, I think they get very attached, and all of a sudden, shoveling horse manure, it doesn't sound like such a terrible thing.
Well, no, I mean, like Ozzy, we have Ozzy who teaches all of my beginners. I would say he's very special, and my dad will say that I sound like a crazy horse person right now, but that's okay. They were going to eat him. He was on a meat truck going to Canada. When we rescued him. He was bald. He had lost all his fur from a skin fungus. He was very skinny and had all his bones sticking out. He was a mess. And we helped him, and in return, I really feel like he helps a lot of people.
Kids. Yeah, he does. It's almost like the horse recognizes that he got lucky. That's the attitude he has. And, that brings up another component of our business, which is equine rescue. Sarah rescues horses off the track. What that means is horses that were part of a race program at one point in time for one reason or another. They weren't fast enough. They didn't want to participate. They couldn't win. They have no use for those horses, and those horses oftentimes get kind of lost in this transition place where nobody really knows that they exist or cares about them. And so there's always a pretty good network of horse rescue people. There's a lot of people out there that rescue horses. We're not the only ones by a long shot. But, they contact one another and say, hey, I got this 14-hand gelding that, that is stuck in somebody's backyard and they can't afford to feed them. Can you take them and retrain them? So there's a lot of retraining and then rehoming that goes on where they either become part of our lesson program or if they connect with the right person, we might allow that horse to transition to a different, a different environment, a different situation. So it's also a big part of what we do.
What's been some of the learning curve that comes with taking care of the horses and having people around them?
It's the people that are the biggest learning curve, I think, for me. I mean, the animals, you treat them right, they are usually pretty quick to be part of you.
I can talk more to that because I had a 2-year-old who was obsessed with horses, and I had to learn about horses because there was just no detracting her. From the time she could say what she wanted, it was always a horse. We tried dancing lessons, we tried everything, gymnastics, and nothing interested her except being around a horse. So eventually, when she was 4, I gave in and bought her first pony. We didn't know the front end of a horse from the back end of a horse, and relied on the people that that taught her lessons to at least coach us a little bit. But sometimes they kind of just let you figure it out on your own. So it's been a 40-year trek for her as well as us. She's been around horses and taking care of horses since she was 2 or 3 years old, and as a result, I've been around horses just as long. So I think it really was a long time cumulative learning experience, little at a time, making mistakes and fixing them.
And learning that people come and people go. And it's okay. It's not for everybody. And the ones that it helps are in it for the long haul. And you're just happy for the time that you get with certain people as they come in and out.
Sarah still has students that drive down from Bucks County every week to take their lessons.
Really?
Yeah, we have a couple of students that still will drive all the way down just to be part of her riding program. So
hi Addie, hi Michelle.
I think it's a testament to her commitment not only to the care of the horses but the atmosphere on the farm and the camaraderie and teamwork and the responsibility. It speaks very highly to her skills, I think.
That was nice.
Don't get used to it.
So you have a lot of passion for this, the both of you, and this is, it's a thing that you have to be passionate about, I guess.
Yes, you do.
Can you tell me where this passion might take you in the future?
I'm really hoping that our scholarship program takes off and we have a plethora of very happy people running through the farm all the time. I mean, that's really
I think we just, at the end of the day, we want to feel like, that we made a difference, that we made a difference for, I don't know that there's any specific end goal in mind other than to, travel through the rest of this life and not have blinders on and be open to how we can influence and positively impact other people. I think that's really what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really interesting work that you guys do, and
Thank you.
I think a lot of people in Bridgeton are excited to have you around. And it's about 9 months you guys have been here.
Short
Yep.
time,
What do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned since you've moved here?
There's always more to do. There's always more people to help. And you never know where that inspiration is going to come from, because I think every time we turn around, somebody is inspiring something different and is giving us a different road to go down. It's not straight. There's lots of curves, and you never know what's going to be the next
That's good.
the next
Well
push.
said. I think also I think it's building trust has been more difficult than I would have expected. You know, that people see it and they say, oh, that's really nice, but getting people to jump off the cliff and come and try it and experience it and not be self-conscious or worried about how they're going to show up. You know, what we encourage people to do is come and try, come and be part of this for a few minutes and figure out, you know, what part of it is that, like, I was really shocked that a lot of the teenage people gravitated to the community garden. I mean, you know, and that was just, there was something, and my granddaughter, I mean, putting a seed in the ground and watching it grow into a stalk of corn and then having a dinner at our house where we ate the corn that she grew. I mean, just mind altering, you know, and so I think every day is a surprise. I mean, you know, what clicks for people sometimes surprises you, and what doesn't click for people sometimes surprises you. So it's being open and pushing forward and trying to give as much opportunity to people as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Gotcha. John Marino and Sarah Moore, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin.
All right.
Appreciate it.